Hey friend, welcome to Self-Transformed, a podcast dedicated to transforming your health in less time and guilt-free through the power of habit hacking. I'm your host, Emily Nichols, behavior change specialist, fitness and Whole30 coach, and Taco Tuesday enthusiast. Hey, I know the struggle is real when it comes to taking care of you. I too am a working mom who felt physically and emotionally drained, but lacked the time and confidence to actually make myself a priority. Creating habit strategies around my health was the key to help me finally create a consistent, healthy lifestyle that doesn't feel hard. I'm now on a mission to equip you with those same sustainable habit hacks to help transform your life from the inside out, guilt-free. Together, we will simplify your health into daily habits that don't feel like another thing on your long to-do list, but rather consistent actions that add up to a massive transformation that will stick through all seasons of your life. So if you're ready to habit hack your health and create your own self-transformation, then let's do this. You're listening to episode 171 of Self-Transformed. Hey friend, welcome back to the show. I hope you are doing well. It is fall. It's the most wonderful time of the year for some folks. I don't mind fall so much. I honestly like spring and summer a little bit more, but I love the beginning of fall. I love the changing of seasons and how beautiful it is outside. And usually this time of year, we'll go on vacation in October to Florida. And then when we get back, it's my youngest son's birthday, and he just lives for this time of year. So I'm excited just for him this time of year too. So, hey, thanks for everyone that has been booking free habit hacking calls with me. I have a couple spots left for October, maybe just one right now. I need to double check, but get on my calendar ASAP. Okay, bit.ly/free call with Emily. It's linked in my show notes too. We can just hop on a call together really quickly to talk about what's your biggest habit challenge right now and how I can help you overcome that with some basic habit strategy. Or text me your favorite emoji to get my Monday motivation text from me. It is 773-904-2157. Text me your favorite emoji. I love seeing what your favorite emojis are, and you can get that delivered to your phone once a week. I know sometimes I feel bogged down by email, so there's a few podcasters that I listen to personally, and I get their texts on Mondays too. So I decided to offer that up earlier this year because I really like being able to chat with y'all. There's some really exciting things happening here in the fall. My Habit Hacking Society members know about it. There's going to be lots of information coming at you this month and into the beginning of November. So make sure you're staying informed through the texting, my newsletter group, and all the ways you listen to the Self-Transform podcast. You know, if you're loving the show as well, I would love it if you would leave a review. It lets me know what you're liking the most, and I can see from my downloads too what you guys like the most too. And I really try to learn a lot from you and give you the content that you need to have your own transformation. So, and also, I just have to give my clients a big shout out. I've had so many wonderful client calls over the past week. I was just sharing this with my girls in this society. You know when you just are talking to someone and you can just see that smile and they are just lit up because they are just in the flow with everything. That's how a few of my clients were this past week. A couple of Whole30 clients, a couple of folks in my signature program, Self-Transform You. You know how that feels when you get in the zone, you're feeling really good. A lot of them are close to 30 days into their programming now. And that's that sweet spot where they're like, okay, I'm starting to really get this. It doesn't feel so hard anymore taking care of myself. And I know it feels hard. And, they have a plan in place too for when a new season of life is going to come up. You're going to get a little busier. They have a plan in place. So if you need some help, like I said, hop on a free habit hacking call with me. Or if you want to chat to see if STU is a good fit for you, that's the opportunity to do it during that habit hacking call with me. Okay, I've been wanting to do this episode for a while because I've talked to a couple people. I'm in a mastermind with some other podcasters and in a lot of similar realms as me. My friend Joelle, when I was interviewed for her on her podcast, Feminine Fitness, earlier this year, we were kind of talking about like how I got into, fitness coaching and how I got into like podcasting and all that. And she was like, "Oh, wow. So you weren't like an athlete like growing up?" Like, because, a lot of times when you hear of like Orange Theory coaches like myself or spin coaches like I used to be or personal trainers like I am, like a lot of times they're like, "Oh, yeah, I just grew up doing that." I didn't. I didn't grow up working out and like loving fitness. Like I did cheerleading and I did color guard and I was always really active, but I was never, and I did softball and like soccer as a real little kid, but I wasn't like training as like an athlete. A lot of times I'm like, man, I wish I would have learned about my love of fitness like in college and I would have studied that or, taught fitness classes back then. But, God just had a plan for me to do this a little bit later in my life, which is, just part of his plan. I'm here for it. But I've never considered myself an athlete. And when I'm coaching a class, I call them athletes. I call them athletes because you know what? We're training for life. We're training for everyday life. So today's episode is really focused on reframing the way you think of everyday fitness. Okay, I want you to reframe the way you think about fitness and think of yourself as an athlete. You are not just training to fit into like your favorite skinny jeans. Like, is that very like millennial of me to be like skinny jeans? Like, do people not wear, I don't know, to fit into like your favorite jeans, okay? Are you just training to be like skinny and fit in like your favorite clothes? Or are you training for life? We are athletes, and I want you to have an athlete mentality when it comes to working out, but rethinking it as everyday fitness as like you're an athlete. So I want you to think of Serena Williams. Like I really look up to her, when she had her daughter and talking about a working mom and training and all of that. Just think of her as an athlete. And many athletes, it's not just the physical work and training they do, but it's also mental and the way they train their brain. We're going through this a lot right now with my oldest son. He plays golf and he's very, very talented, but the mindset, the mental game is where he needs more work in. And like really professional athletes really train not just their bodies, but their mindset and their brain as well. Thinking back to, the way we rethink of fitness, I remember when my husband and I first got married, he was always going to the gym and lifting weights, getting those gains, you know what I mean? And I was just like in my bed sleeping in and like staying up late and like having a glass of wine and reading like a Cosmopolitan magazine. Do we still get Cosmo magazines and doing those quiz? I don't even know. I'm too old now and I don't know if people still do magazines. But seriously, like that's what I would do. And so working out didn't always just come easy for me. It really... in 2015 is when I really started taking my own health and fitness seriously, and I had my own transformation story. I've shared it so many times here on the show, just starting with the way I ate, and eventually I started moving my body because I actually felt better and I could see how I had more energy and I was building up like so much confidence in myself. And it didn't come easy to me though. And I had to rethink like, oh, I'm just not going to like the gym and just like being on the treadmill or the elliptical because I want to be skinny. I'm training for life. I feel a lot better. I'm a much more patient mom. Like I'm achieving goals. I have more passion and a mission in my life to help other working moms like myself do this. And it all stemmed from fitness for me. But I've never considered myself an athlete, but we're athletes. We are training for life. So today I'm going to give you 10 tips, 10 ways to kind of really reframe the way we see working out and fitness to train for life. Because y'all, we are athletes and we are training for life. And a lot of times, life is much harder than what you could ever do in a gym. So let's get into these tips together. All right. Number 1, physical movement is a fundamental need. It's a fundamental need. In the society, We don't dig too deep into like tons of different areas other than just like your basic fundamental needs, because that is an area where we frankly aren't doing it. we're losing sight of like, oh, I actually need to move my body to feel really good. Even if it's just a daily walk, I've just noticed as I've reestablished a new daily habit of walking every day since August 1st, actually rucking. Since August 1st, man, I sleep so much better. It's just being outside and just doing that basic movement. Physical movement is a fundamental need. We're not doing it just to lose weight. We're doing it because there is so many benefits to it, not just physical, but also mental, emotional. It's like one of the pillars of self-care that I believe are probably one of the biggest. It's probably like the big base of it. Number 2, building physical and mental strength and endurance through your workouts allows you to have mental strength and endurance through life. You know, you do hard things, you lift heavy, you run longer, you run farther than you ever thought you could. Gosh, that applies towards real life, right, friends? You're like, man, I can persevere through this. I can run the distance in this launch I'm doing. I can, lift heavier. I can do really heavy things. I'm really strong mentally and physically. Gosh, what else can I do? Right? So you're building physical and mental strength and endurance through your workouts. Number 3, it's great to have goals to work towards. But maybe we reframe our fitness goals. Maybe we're doing the workouts, we're doing the things because it helps you sleep better. Or maybe you have more mental clarity or patience. Or maybe it's a chance for you to build connection and community with other people because maybe you feel like you're neglecting your friends and being at the gym together or going on a walk together is the only time to have that connection. It's great if you're like, oh, I want to, lose weight or lift heavy or run a marathon. I would never run a marathon, but run a half a marathon. It's great. Those goals are so important, but I think it's even more important to have some life goals looped into those fitness goals. Number 4, there will be fluctuations and your workouts will change depending on what you need. It's a matter of listening to your body and the season of life you are in. I've shared through our confidence series we just did in August, breaking my tailbone earlier at the end of May and going through that recovery all summer. And I wasn't able to do a lot of the things I was used to doing. So I turned to hot yoga. It's something I have just totally fallen in love with, but I was really resistant to it at first. And I had to be okay with that fluctuation and that change that felt super uncomfortable. And it led into something beautiful that I actually really love and can't wait to share more with you about that journey as we are. I'm doing so many things over the next 6 months, you guys. I can't even wait. I'm so excited. But you need to listen to your body and be open for that change and fluctuation. And number 5, also just change it up. One of the last modules we talk about in Self-Transform You is what to do when a habit just isn't working for you anymore. Maybe you've been going to this certain gym for like 10 years and you're all of a sudden like, it's just so boring. I'm not getting the results I want. Change it up. Maybe you're not motivated to go anymore and it's just sporadic and you're not seeing the results you want anymore. Change it up. Okay, change that up because you are training for life. And if you find yourself losing that motivation, it's time to change. Number 6, don't look at just 30 days or 90 days or a week or 2 weeks, but years. You are in it, for the long haul. So you can play with your grandkids someday. You can get on and off the floor. A lot of functional fitness that I teach is to be able to freaking get off the floor. Because if you fall when you're old, you need to be able to get up off the floor. So when we're thinking about fitness, we're not just thinking about these short-term goals. We're thinking about the long haul, that endurance. You're not just running a sprint, you're running a marathon for your life, right? Number 7, set a schedule so you don't have to think about when you'll work it out. This is a little habit hack for you. This takes a little less brain power. So set a schedule for yourself. Sit down on Friday or Sunday night. I like to do Friday afternoon, then I revisit Sunday evening for my week when I'm planning out the week. And I write on my schedule and I have it on my Google Calendar too, what I'm doing throughout the week. That way I don't have to think about it. I don't wake up and be like, what am I going to do today for my workouts? I already have them planned out. Number 8, know that motivation won't always be there, but that's where your habits take place, my friend. But know that if that motivation isn't there, it's okay. It's okay. What you don't want to find yourself doing is letting that lack of motivation turn into like a year of no motivation or doing anything. You know what I mean? Sometimes we get stuck in that spiral like, oh my gosh, well, I didn't work out today and then I didn't do it tomorrow. A big spoiler tip that I teach a lot in my communities is try not to miss more than 2 days. There's something actually that triggers in our brain, which I learned when I was becoming a behavior change specialist, that if we miss more than 2 days of a new habit, sometimes it triggers something in our brain where we're like, well, I have just failed, and then you don't try it at all anymore. I don't want that for you. Number 9, it's okay if you want to fit in your favorite jeans. Hey, we want to feel good from the inside out. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But that can't be your only reason. That cannot be your only reason for training for life. You are an athlete. You have these long-term goals in life, and it can't just be to fit in your favorite pair of jeans, okay? That can just be a portion of it. That is just a small portion of it. And then number 10, you won't win every day. You won't win every day. You are an athlete, and athletes win and lose. They win and lose. Do they give up? No, you just keep trying until something feels right and something sticks. I love it so much. I love it so much. They're not going to knock you down. They're not going to they might knock you down, but they're not going to knock you out. Kendall Toole always says that on Peloton. I love that. She always puts her dukes up too and punches the air. I love that so much. So you won't win every day, but my friend, you are an athlete. You are training for life. Not every day is going to be perfect, but you are working on that physical and mental strength and endurance. Training for life so you can feel and transform into the best version of you. It doesn't happen overnight. It's not going to be the same forever. Change happens, transformation happens as you go through new seasons of life. But I want you to think of your fitness from here on out differently and know that you are an athlete, my friend, and you are training for life. Boom. Can I get a hallelujah? I am feeling on fire for this. I truly in my whole heart believe this. Fitness is like the most important tier of self-care for me other than mindset and devotional time with God, because there's so many benefits to it. And I want you to train for life and train for your very best life, because you are an athlete. And I believe in you. And I want you to believe in you too. If you love today's episode, please come let me know. If you want to work with me, make sure to hop on one of those free habit hacking calls if you want to chat a little further. I can't wait to connect with you, friend. I'll catch up with you later this week for a Habit Hack Thursday. Hey girl, real quick before you go, if you want some free motivation texted to you every week from me to help you habit hack your health, send me your favorite emoji to 773-904-2157 and sign up for my weekly pump up text. I can't wait to catch up with you there. Hey, and if you love the podcast, the number one way you can thank me is to leave a rating and review in iTunes. That way more mamas can also find the show. Then you can even email me a screenshot of your review and I'll send you either a Starbucks gift card or give you a free habit hacking call with me live on the podcast. Love and appreciate you, friend. I'll see you next time.